You don't have a job title. You don't have a contract. And if anyone asks, you've never met the man who just wired $2 million into your account. Right now it's 2 a.m. Your phone is buzzing. The name on the screen doesn't exist. It's a code word you both agreed on 6 months ago over a lunch that was never calendared. He has a problem. It needs to disappear before the markets open in 7 hours. You already know you're going to say yes. But you didn't start here. Nobody starts here. This is the world of the personal fixer, the invisible professional that every billionaire needs, and no one is supposed to know exists. No LinkedIn profile, no business card, no paper trail. Just a phone number passed quietly between people who operate above the law, not by breaking it, but by knowing exactly where it bends. There are 8 levels to this world, and by the time you reach the last one, you'll understand exactly what it costs to live inside it. Let's go back to the beginning. Level 1. The cleaner. Your first job takes 4 hours. A billionaire's son, 23 years old, 3 drinks past legal, wrapped a rented Ferrari around a concrete barrier outside Monaco at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday. No one was seriously hurt, but there were witnesses. There was a local officer first on scene, and there was a photographer 2 streets away who heard the impact. Your job is to make all 3 of those problems disappear before morning. You make 3 calls. You arrange 2 NDAs with numbers attached to them that make both witnesses suddenly remember very little. The officer receives a quiet reminder about a pending departmental review. Nothing threatening, just a fact he already knew, mentioned at the right moment by the right person. The photographer gets an offer for an exclusive consulting arrangement with a media company you've never heard of. He takes it. By 6 a.m. there is no incident report. There is no story. There is no record that Tuesday night happened at all. Firms like Kroll Associates and Teneo do versions of this every single day. They call it crisis management. They charge corporate rates. They operate in the open. You operate one layer below that, in the space where the client's name can never appear on an invoice. You feel good about this, almost proud. That feeling is the most dangerous thing about Level 1. The first favor always looks almost legal. That's how it's designed. Level 2. The buffer. 3 months later, the calls are coming more frequently. You've been introduced, carefully, indirectly, to the principal himself. You've never been in the same room. You've spoken twice by phone. But his chief of staff now has your number. And that's what matters at this stage. You are the person who officially doesn't exist, who officially doesn't know anything, and who therefore can't be officially implicated in anything. That's your entire value. A business partner of your client has started asking uncomfortable questions about a set of financial irregularities in a joint venture. Irregularities that, if examined properly, would unravel something your client cannot afford to have unraveled. The partner isn't a criminal, he's just thorough. Your job isn't to fix the numbers, it's to fix the man asking about them. You arrange a meeting. You present him with a consulting contract. $400,000 for 12 months, attached to a vague advisory role that requires almost nothing from him. The money is real. The opportunity is real. The message underneath it is also real, though it's never spoken aloud. He signs within 48 hours. The Pandora Papers, leaked in 2021, exposing the financial architecture of hundreds of the world's most powerful people, documented exactly this kind of arrangement. Cut out intermediaries. Human buffet. Where's plausible deniability built into every transaction? The fixer is the living, breathing version of a shell company. You didn't bribe anyone. You never do. You simply made the alternative more attractive than the truth. Level 3. The architect. Now the work gets technical. Your client is facing a divorce. Not a normal divorce. A $4 billion divorce filed by a spouse with an exceptional legal team and a forensic accountant who has already started pulling threads. Your client has 3 weeks before discovery begins. Your job is to make $340 million structurally invisible before that clock runs out. You coordinate with a Zurich-based attorney, a registered agent in the Cayman Islands, and a Luxembourg holding company that exists solely to receive and redirect capital. You don't move the money yourself. You build the architecture, the sequence of entities, transfers, and jurisdictions that makes the money mathematically present, but legally unreachable. The Panama Papers revealed over 214,000 shell companies used by the world's wealthiest individuals to do exactly this. The British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, Luxembourg. These aren't criminal secrets, they're infrastructure, legal infrastructure that requires an expert to navigate. You are that expert now. You tell yourself you're an engineer. You're solving a structural problem. The morality of it exists somewhere far above your pay grade, handled by people whose job it is to worry about such things. The money disappears on a Thursday afternoon. You receive a wire transfer the following Monday. You file it as consulting fees. You never stole a dollar. You just made sure no one could find $340 million of someone else's. Level 4. The silencer. A journalist in London has a source. She's been working the story for 4 months. She has documents. She has 2 people willing to go on record. She is 6 weeks from publication, and what she has, you've been briefed, is accurate. Every word of it. Your client uses one word to describe it. Existential. You don't threaten her. That's not how this works. You never threaten anyone. Not because you're above it, but because threats leave traces and you are meticulous about traces. Instead, you retain a private intelligence firm, the kind that operates in the documented gray zone between licensed investigation and something harder to name. They build a profile. They identify pressure points. Then a senior QC sends a carefully worded letter to her editors suggesting the story carries significant legal exposure for the publication. Simultaneously, one of her sources receives a call from his employer about an unrelated compliance matter. The story dies quietly. She never knows exactly why. Harvey Weinstein's legal team hired Black Cube, a private intelligence firm staffed by former Mossad operatives, to do something structurally similar. That operation was exposed by Ronan Farrow in The New Yorker in 2017. It was legal, mostly, and it nearly worked. Somewhere between level 2 and level 4, you stopped asking whether something was right. You started asking only whether it would work. You didn't silence her. You just made sure the truth was too expensive for anyone to publish. Level 5. The diplomat. You are no longer cleaning up messes. You are now creating outcomes. Your client needs a regulatory change in a Central European country. A change that would unlock a $2 billion infrastructure contract currently blocked by a single clause in a single ministry. The person who controls that clause is a senior government official, officially untouchable, politically connected, and absolutely reachable if you know the right room to walk into. You fly to Vienna on a Tuesday. You meet a man in a hotel bar, a former diplomat, now a private consultant, who asks for nothing in writing and orders expensive whiskey with the quiet confidence of someone who has done this many times. You have a conversation that contains no promises and no numbers. You shake hands. You fly home on Thursday. 3 weeks later, the regulatory clause is amended. You receive a wire transfer from a consultancy in Cyprus you have never heard of. You file it as advisory fees. Paul Manafort spent years doing versions of this for Ukrainian oligarchs, working the gap between private consulting and unregistered foreign influence. His 2018 federal trial documented it in granular detail. The FARA, Foreign Agents Registration Act, exists specifically because this gap exists. People like you live in it. You used to fix problems for powerful people. Now you are the mechanism by which power itself operates, and he keeps calling because of it. Level 6. The ghost. You haven't used your real name professionally in 2 years. You have 3 passports. 2 of them were obtained legally through citizenship by investment programs. Malta's program, which costs approximately $600,000 in qualifying investments, and St. Kitts, which has operated one of the world's oldest such programs since 1984. Both are entirely legal. Both are entirely the point. Your client contacts you through a chain of 3 intermediaries. You haven't been in the same physical space as him in 14 months. You have solved 4 of his most significant problems in that time. You are most valuable when you are most invisible. Intelligence agencies call it a legend, a fully constructed operational identity designed to withstand scrutiny. The CIA and MI6 build them for field officers. You built yours yourself, quietly, over several years, as a precaution that gradually became a necessity. The money is extraordinary. The loneliness is something you don't discuss with anyone, because there is no one left in your life who knows enough of the truth to have a real conversation with. You are the most powerful person in most rooms you enter, and no one in those rooms knows you exist. Level 7. The Keeper. 9 years in, you are no longer just useful. You are dangerous. You carry, entirely in your memory, information that could end the careers of 4 politicians across 2 continents, collapse 2 multinational companies, terminate 3 marriages involving combined assets of over $8 billion, and result in criminal prosecution for at least 6 people you have personally worked with. You have never written any of it down. Your value to your client is no longer only what you can fix. It is also what you know. You are a problem he cannot afford to create, and he is aware of this in the same way you are aware of it. Neither of you has acknowledged it directly. You don't need to. You have, quietly and without informing him, arranged for copies of certain communications to be held in a sealed legal arrangement managed by a lawyer in Geneva. It's not a threat. It's insurance, the kind that hopefully never needs to be used. Non-attorney fixers have no formal legal protection. Attorney-client privilege doesn't extend to them. You have no union, no regulatory body, no protection except the mutual understanding that destroying you would be more expensive than maintaining you. He needs you. You need him. Neither of you trusts the other. This is what they call a partnership at this level. Level 8. The cost. You're sitting in a restaurant you used to love. You can't remember the last time you were here without thinking about sightlines, about who's at the adjacent tables, about which exit you'd use if the conversation you're about to have went the wrong direction. Across from you is someone who thinks they know you. They know the name you're using. They know the version of you that exists in their world. They think tonight is a normal dinner. Your burner phone is in your jacket pocket. It will be destroyed tomorrow. 8 figures sit in accounts spread across 4 jurisdictions. You could retire tomorrow in absolute material comfort for the rest of your life. That number used to feel like the point of all this. Tonight it feels like a receipt for something you can no longer quite identify. Research on individuals in prolonged high-secrecy roles, intelligence operatives, covert consultants, documents consistent patterns, hypervigilance that never fully switches off, an inability to form unguarded relationships, a creeping fragmentation between the performed self and whatever remains underneath it. You order the same thing you always order. You feel nothing in particular. This is not what you imagined when you answered that first call. It is, however, exactly what you chose. One level at a time, one favor at a time, one line crossed so gradually you never felt the crossing. The money is real. The power is real. And so is the person you used to be, somewhere underneath all of this. The phone rings. It's 2 a.m. You don't recognize the number, but you recognize the country code. Someone new has found you. Someone was given your name by someone who was given your name by someone else. There is a problem. It needs to disappear before morning. You look at the screen for a long time. Then you answer, because this is what you are now. And somewhere across the city, someone is starting their first night in this world. A 4-hour job that feels almost legal. A problem that practically solves itself. A first favor that looks like nothing at all. Level 1 always starts with a phone call.